Hi. Often before we start workshops, I often give an illustration or example of a map, and I give an example of a map as a precursor to the conversation around the importance of being system-driven, the importance of mentors, coaches, trainers, the importance of having faith in other people, and the importance of being vision-driven. And all of these things come together in a simple explanation of a map. So here you go. Regardless of where you're watching this video from today, in any part of the world you find yourself, if I were to give you a detailed map with directions to my house, you don't know where I live right now, but if I were to give you detailed directions to my house, I'm talking about very detailed, to the point where I say, stand up, walk straight, take a left out of the door, take a right down the hall, take a left out of the door, take a right into the parking lot. If I did that, and I continued to give you those instructions step by step, all the way from wherever you are to my household, it may take 1,000 instructions or 2,000 instructions, but there's no question that anybody watching this video right now could 100% find their way to my house. You could get there at different speeds. Some might run, some might walk, some might crawl, some might drive, some might fly. But the reality is everybody that could read the map and follow the directions could actually find their way to my house. Here's some interesting things about a map. So if you were to follow those directions and you were to stay and do exactly what the instructions said, and let's just say there were 1,000 instructions that led you right to my doorstep. Let's just say you did the first 10 things. 100% accurate, 100% right. The reality of it would be that you are 100% with certainty on your way to my doorstep. Here's the interesting thing. If you looked around, even if you were 100% right, and you looked around where you were at that 10th instruction, you would see no evidence of my house. You would see nothing in your current environment to validate that you are en route to my house. Think about that. Many people go through life without a guide, without a map, without instructions, and instead what they do is they try to deduce or gather information or formulate a plan only based on what they see around them at that time. That's crazy when you think about it in terms of a map. That's the equivalent of you looking around the room you're in right now and deciding which way you should go to find your way to my house. You have no idea what's behind what door or what direction you should head. No idea at all. But that's what most people do. They make their decisions based upon what they see around them at that current time. Another thing inherent about a map is this. The map maker, the reason you know that following this map step by step will lead you to my door is because I know how to get to my house. I created the map. Herein lies two important suggestions for anybody's personal growth and development plan. One, find somebody that's done what you want to do, and two, have faith in the directions that they give you. Have faith that the guidance they give you will get you where you want to go. So far we've talked about the ability to see beyond or not be dependent upon the physical input you get currently where you are. We've talked about the necessity to get guidance from other people, and the big one is to talk about the necessity for you to actually have faith in the map maker, have faith in others. Here's the thing about another interesting thing about a map. When would you see, if you think this out, when do you think you would look up and see my doorstep? Probably not until you got down to the last one or two, maybe three instructions when it said, take a right, take a left, look up, that's my door. So when you think about this map with 1,000 individual accurate, deadly accurate instructions, even if you followed them step by step, and even if it took you weeks or months or years, whatever, to go through each and every step, it wouldn't be until the very last steps in the process where you could look up and actually see the destination that you set out to find. There's a lot of lessons, in my opinion, around a map. A map is an incredibly powerful tool, especially if you're lost. A map is an incredibly powerful tool, but it might be an even more powerful metaphor when you think about the components and the strategies required to get from wherever you are to someplace better.